In the forgotten dawn of West Africa, when gods and spirits still whispered through the wind, a story began in a small fishing village by the sea. The waves sang softly against the shore, unaware they were keeping a secret that would change kingdoms. In that humble village lived a fisherman named Oban and his wife, Abony. They were ordinary people, bound by love and by grief. For though Abony conceived many times, every child she bore was taken by death before the moon could wax and wane. For daughters she birthed, for graves she dug with her own trembling hands. The villagers said the same soul kept returning, cursed, restless, trapped in an endless circle. They named the unborn fifth child Ikọsa, meaning the one who returns. When Ikọsa was born, thunder rolled across the sky though the sun shone bright. The elders said it was the gods announcing her arrival. Unlike her sisters, she survived. Her cry was fierce, her eyes deep as the ocean itself. As a child, Ikọsa was strange and wondrous. She spoke to the wind, and it seemed to answer. She sang to the sea, and the waves would calm. The villagers watched with awe and fear. Some called her a blessing, others called her a walking spirit. By the age of 8, Ikọsa followed her father to the shore each morning. She loved the smell of salt, the rhythm of the tides, and the stories her father told about sea spirits who granted power to the chosen. One fateful morning, as they set out to fish, the sea was unnaturally still. No gulls cried, no wind blew. Then a soft voice, like silken thunder, whispered Ikọsa's name from beneath the water. Her father heard nothing, but Ikọsa leaned over the edge of the canoe, eyes wide. In a flash, she slipped and vanished into the deep. Oban screamed and dove in after her, again and again, until his lungs gave out. But the sea held its silence. Ikọsa was gone. Days passed. The village mourned. They said the cursed child had returned to the spirit world at last. Abony sat by the shore every sunrise, calling her daughter's name until her voice broke. Then one dawn, the ocean delivered a miracle. A body lay on the sand, not a child, but a grown woman. Her skin shimmered like pearls. Her hair floated with shells and coral. When the villagers gathered, the woman opened her eyes and whispered, "Father." It was Ikọsa, but 20 years older. Her father fell to his knees, for she sang the same lullaby he had once sung to her as a little girl. Time had passed differently beneath the waves. She told a tale no mortal had ever heard. She said the river goddess Mami Wada had claimed her. In the goddess's realm, days were decades and mortals forgot their breath. Ikọsa had served in the goddess's court, learning the secrets of life, death, and strength. The goddess warned her, "You will walk among kings, and the blood of men will desire you. Beware the poison of their love." When Ikọsa returned, her presence unsettled the living. Men who mocked her fell sick. Women who stood near her felt courage rise in their hearts. Even the village elders bowed when she passed. Then came the night of the forest cries. A mother's scream shattered the village silence. Her son had vanished into the cursed woods. No warrior dared to go. But Ikọsa stood, eyes glowing with defiance. "I will bring the child back," she said. The men laughed. But before dawn, she returned, her arms cradling the child, her spear dragging the carcass of a monstrous leopard behind her. The beast's eyes were glassy, its claws broken. The villagers fell to their knees. Ikọsa's name spread across the land like wildfire. Travelers spoke of a woman who fought demons and beasts alike. When her story reached the ears of the great king of Angola, he sent messengers demanding she appear before his throne. "Are you the woman who claims to fight spirits and men?" he asked. "I claim nothing," she replied calmly. "I prove." The king summoned his strongest warrior, a man known for breaking lions with his bare hands. Before the court could blink, Ikọsa struck once. The giant fell. The audience gasped. The king, humiliated, called for 5 more warriors. One by one, they met the earth. The king rose, eyes blazing. He declared, "No man shall command you. From this day, you shall command men." And so Ikọsa became the kingdom's greatest general. Under her leadership, the armies of Angola expanded and triumphed. She led battles not with brute force, but with cunning. She studied the land, the rivers, the skies, and struck only when destiny tilted in her favor. Yet as she rose, envy shadowed her steps. Among the royal court was the king's eldest son. Ikọsa refused him again and again. But his obsession grew into madness. He whispered lies to the king, claiming she plotted treason. Yet every battle she won silenced his venom. When war broke out against a foreign power known as the Grey Host, the king placed his trust in Ikọsa. The Grey Host brought weapons of iron, horses armored in steel, and fire that roared from strange tubes. Their numbers were vast, their cruelty worse. Ikọsa led the army into the swamplands. The Grey Host charged proudly, laughing at a woman general. But the land turned against them. Their horses sank. Their armor dragged them under. Arrows rained from the trees like a storm of vengeance. The swamp became a graveyard. Ikọsa faced their commander, a mountain of a man named Heron. His sword was as long as she was tall. He struck, but she moved like lightning, wrapped his leg in rope, and pulled him into the mud. He drowned screaming her name. Victory was hers. The people sang her name. But Prince Arrow told the king she had bewitched the army, using forbidden powers. The king hesitated, torn between pride and suspicion. Still, Ikọsa returned home triumphant. That night, the prince came to her tent bearing wine and false peace. He begged her forgiveness, praised her strength, and offered a toast to unity. But when she awoke, she found herself dishonored, violated, and bound by his treachery. Her scream tore through the night. The goddess's warning echoed in her mind. Beware the poison of kings. At dawn, Ikọsa walked into the royal court. In her hands, the prince's blood still dripped from her blade. The hall fell silent. The king's face went pale. "I did not kill your son," she said. "I buried a snake." The king, weeping yet fearful, banished her instead of executing her. For he knew killing her would bring divine wrath upon his throne. Ikọsa disappeared into the wilderness. But she did not vanish alone. 6 daughters followed her, daughters born of her blood, each one strong, fierce, and unyielding. In the shadowed hills, they built a hidden city of women. They trained under moonlight, fought under thunder, and forged themselves into living weapons. They became Agojie, the daughters of fire. Years passed, and their legend spread. When raiders came, they struck from the trees like ghosts. When invaders arrived, they melted into the forest and returned with victory. Their enemies called them demons. Their people called them salvation. Ikọsa's daughters carried her teachings. Strength is not for pride. Strength is for protection. Generations later, the daughters of fire became the Dahomey Amazons, protectors of their kingdom, feared across Africa. They fought empires, resisted colonizers, and stood unbroken until the very end. Even when rifles and cannons replaced spears, the spirit of Ikọsa burned in their hearts. They fought not just for land, but for legacy. Centuries later, the world forgot her name. Comic books would call their hero Wonder Woman. But Africa had already known her. Ikọsa, born of grief, raised by gods, betrayed by kings, and reborn in fire. Her blood became legend. Her daughters became myth. And her spirit became immortal. When the thunder rolls across the sea and the waves whisper a woman's name, the elders say it is Ikọsa, still watching. The real Wonder Woman of Africa, the warrior who never died.